Okay, greetings. This is the first take on a lecture about what I think about Rastafarianism. I'm joined by my brother. We will present our credentials a bit later on, maybe in another video. But right now we're just going to talk about two books. So the first book we're going to talk about, this book here, it's called The Kebra Nagast, the Lost Bible of Rastafarian Wisdom and Faith from Ethiopia and Jamaica. This particular book, or this particular version, was written by Gerald Hassman. It's got an introduction from Ziggy Marley. So some of what we're going to talk about is in this book. Now, Kebra, the book of Kings, Nagast, Kebra, Nagast.
Yeah. Shalom everybody. So this is a book that I'm going to be talking slightly about. Not really talking about, drawing references from. So it's called Rastology Key Words, or the Key Words of Rasta. And it was written by a brother named Danija Tafari. And it's got Amharic in it and English translations. I believe the brother lived in Shashamani in Ethiopia. So that's a part of Ethiopia that they set apart for Rastas in the diaspora to come back. So I think the brother lives there and he wrote this book. So we're going to draw on these two books.
Yeah.
What does Rastafarianism mean to you?
Okay, so Rastafarianism. I'm a Rasta. Now, I don't usually express my feelings about a particular religion because I have a view of religion, which is religion is a cultural dimension or construct.
That's right.
Okay, so depending on where you are, your religion will reflect where you are.
That's
so
right.
If you're a Roman Catholic, you will be affiliated to the Roman order, or it originates from Rome, the Roman Catholic. Okay, you also have the Christians. So the Christians, they affiliate to a particular form of Judaism called Christianity. Okay, you have Islam, which comes from the Arabic regions of the earth, and they align themselves to the Islamic traditions. Okay, Rasta aligns itself to the Ethiopian orthodoxy of Christianity. Okay, so we're not going to get into the differences of Christianity and Hebrewism. We're not going to fit ourselves in these boxes, right? So what we're talking about here is we're talking about Rastafarianism as I see it.
Where does the word Rastafari come from?
So let us do an analysis of the word Rastafari. So Rastafari is two words, but actually three words. We can get three words from Rastafari. So the first word we're going to draw upon is the word Ras. So Ras means king, right? King. Tafari is another name, or the name that was given to Haile Selassie. So Rastafari means King Selassie. Now, we could spend a lot of time talking about the ins and outs and the significance of this person called Haile Selassie, but we're not going to do that. We're just going to take it as Rastafari means King Selassie. Now, the other word that we can get from Rastafari is Rasta. Okay, so we have Ras, which is one word. We have Tafari, which is a name. But we also have Rasta. Now the first inference of Rasta comes from the 42 negative confessions.
That's right.
That was found in the papyri of Ani.
That's right. That's
Now
right.
the fifth spell, because it's not a hymn, it was a spell. The fifth spell mentions the word Rasta. And Rasta was an order of priests. They were set apart. They were order of priests, and they were in charge of, as my brother says, in charge of enforcing righteousness, for want of a better word. Okay, so we have three words coming from Rastafari. We have Ras, we have Farai, and we have Rasta. Okay, now a lot of people see Rastafarianism as a religion that came out of Jamaica, but it didn't. It predates Jamaica. It predates it by many, many, many years.
What different types of Rastafarian are there?
Right. So as I said before, Rasta is found in Egypt.
That's right.
Rasta is also found in the Nyabingi order. The Nyabingi order of warriors from a place called, nowadays called Rwanda,
Uganda,
or you can
Rwanda.
call it Uganda. This region is where the Nyabingi order was operating their military operations. And the Nyabingi order is intrinsic within the struggles of Jamaica, because the first Maroons amongst them were Rastas. Okay, now we can corroborate this, but obviously time
constraints. Yeah.
Time constraints. I'm just saying what I feel. Okay, so we have in Jamaica, we have the Nyabingi order. In Jamaica, we also have the Rastas, and we have the Rastafaris. We also have the Bobo Shanti. So the Bobo Shanti is a form of Rasta. They tie their hair, so you never see their locks. They're very strict, very military organized. We also have the 12 tribes. Okay, so my brother is going to talk a bit about the tribe, because he is an Israelite and a Hebrew Israelite.
I'm a Hebrew Israelite.
So he knows exactly about the tribes. So he's going to talk a little bit about the tribes, and I'm going to jump back in to finish off what I think Rastafari means.
Alright, so yeah, shalom. As a Hebrew Israelite, part of our studies is to recognize the people of the book. So how we recognize people of the book is not by appearances, because a person can look anyhow. We test the spirit, but in general, we figured out, as a result of the spirit, as a result of study, and as a result of acknowledging history, we figured out where the tribes are located and who the tribes are. So for instance, like in general, the Jamaican people or the Caribbean island people, I don't like the word Caribbean, but I'm going to just use it colloquially. The Caribbean or the West Indian island people, they would be from the tribe of Banyamyan. Banyamyan would break itself down in English as Benjamin. So then in Puerto Rico, the Puerto Ricans would be from the tribe of Ephraim. The Cubans would be from the tribe of Manasseh. The island of Haiti / Dominican Republic, I think it's called Hispaniola together, that island, the Haitians would be known as the Levites or the priests, and on the other side, the Dominican Republic, they would be known as the Simeonites. And according to scripture, they would live together, but they would have a hatred for each other, which plays out. Then when you look at North America, when you look at the Seminole Indians, they would be Rawaban. When you look at the other Plain Indians, they would be Gad. So if you look at the Native American, the North American Indians, they look kind of like lions, and that's the description of them. They have a lion-like appearance. When you look at the Mexicans would be from the tribe of Issachar. In Hebrew, it would be Oaxaca. And funnily enough, there's a small town in Mexico called Oaxaca. So when you come down to Guatemala, the Guatemalans would be Zebulon or Zabalawan. So the prophecy, Guatemala to Panama, they would be Zabalawan. When you read the scriptures, they lined up with the scriptures that said they would be as Tyre and Sidon, which were two coastal cities. Then when you come further down to South America, you come to Argentina and Peru, they would be Naphtali. And then the other regions, which would be like Colombia, Venezuela, Guyana, Brazil, and bits of Trinidad, by the way, they would be Asher. So the tribe of Asher, in Hebrew, it means happy. And if you notice the characteristics of those same nations I just called, they're some of the happiest people in terms of, doesn't matter what's happening, doesn't matter what's going on, they're gonna party, they're gonna have fun, they have a spirit of mirth. Even in wake, when somebody's dead, it ends up like a party. So that's just a brief synopsis of the tribes from my perspective, which is a Hebrew Israelite perspective.
So, the meaning of Rasta is a complicated topic, okay? And we are coming from our personal interpretations. We're not taking a literal interpretation.
That's right.
But I want to start again from the beginning with the words Rastafari, right? Now I'm going to let my brother read the first five negative confessions taken from the papyri of Ani. This is a scroll. Now it's a bit small here, so you can't see the scroll, but it's an Egyptian scroll where the spells were written in hieroglyphics. This was translated by an English professor known as E.A. Wallace Budge. And this book was called the Egyptian Book of the Dead, as translated by Budge. Okay, it wasn't known as the Book of the Dead, but it's actually known as the book of coming forth by day and by night.
Per M. Haru.
Yes, and for a better interpretation, I think we have the book here. It's up there somewhere.
Yeah.
But we have a book here called the what's the book by Benjamin Cannon?
Africa, the Mother of Civilization.
Yes, Africa, the Mother of Civilization.
Just now, Africa, the Mother of Civilization. Where is it?
There's another book
the
by.
ISIS papers. No, that's not.
There's another book by Yosef Benjamin Cannon, right?
Yeah, I've got quite a few, but yeah,
we will refer to these books later on in our bibliography, so you'll get a detailed bibliography. But just for this section, I'm going to give this phone to my brother. He's going to just quickly read the first five negative confessions taken from the papyri of Anu. So if you can just read the first five. 1.
So this is number 1 in the list. Hail Usek Nemet, who cometh forth from Anu. I have not committed sin. Number 2. Hail Hepket, who cometh forth from Ker Aha. I have not committed robbery with violence. Number 3. Hail Fenty, who cometh forth from Kemenu. I have not stolen. Number 4. Hail Kaibit, who cometh forth from Quenet. I have not slain men and women. And number 5. Hail Neha Her, who cometh forth from Rasta. I have not stolen grain.
Okay, so those are the 5 of the 42 negative confessions, right? Now, the negative confessions of the papyri of Anai predates Christianity by at least 1,000 years, okay? We have just said to you, or you have just heard, that the word Rasta, which is here on the 5th prayer, as a name that represents an order of priests. Now, how do we confer this? So first of all, I'm going to read this again, but I'm going to take out the names. I have not committed sin, number 1. I have not committed robbery with violence, number 2. I have not stolen, 3. I have not slain men and women, 4. And number 5, I have not stolen grain. Okay, so I have not stolen grain is to represent I haven't stolen food.
That's right.
I haven't stolen food. So any food that the Rastas acquire is not stolen. Okay, so that's number 1. So every one of these first 5, first of all, refers the name of the particular priest or order that you need to refer to. And then secondly, they said where they come from. So Hail Usket Namet, that's the name of the
priestly
attribute.
Or the attribute of the priest.
That's the name of the attribute. And then you say where they're from. Okay? So going back to number 5, Hail Naha He, who cometh forth from Rasta. Okay, so the papyri of Anai would have been dated thousands of years
Literally
before Christianity. So although we practice the orthodox form of Christianity, the Rastas practice it. Rasta actually existed before. Okay, so we have to bear that in mind, because we can get put into boxes whereby we just put a thing in a box, we put another thing in another box, we put another thing in another box, and then we can't connect them. We can't connect them, so we don't see the connection between Islam and Judaism. We don't see that connection. Well, they're one and the same. We don't see the connection between Christianity and Judaism. We can't see the connection because it's in a separate box, but they're one and the same.
Absolutely.
We cannot see the connection between Roman Catholic and English Catholic, or Roman Catholic and Christianity, because they're in separate boxes. So it's the same with Rasta. We cannot see the connection between Rasta and Christianity. We cannot see the connection between Rasta and Muslim. But in Africa, in the Islamic parts of Africa, there is a sect called the Baba Faye, and the Baba Faye are Muslim Rastas. So I'll say that again. The Baba Faye are Muslim Rastas. You can find them in Guinea-Bissau.
Yeah, you could find
them in the islands.
In certain key parts of West Africa, in predominantly the Muslim or the Islamic practicing parts of West Africa, you could find them. You will see images of them too in the
and again, in our bibliography listing, we are going to show references to graphics where you can see that these things existed. You can see, if you go to the British Museum, or you go to the museum in Germany, or you go to the museum in France, the Louvre,
yeah.
You will see certain priests and certain priestess, and you see certain lords and princes and princesses, and they have locks, dreadlocks. Okay.
Do you have to have dreadlocks to be a Rasta?
Now, according to the scriptures, it's not possible, because the scriptures state that you do not cut your hair by the blade of a razor or by scissors or anything of that nature. You can't do that, because it breaks the covenant, right?
That's right.
But if we take ourselves outside of the box, remember I said to you we could put ourselves in boxes. If we take ourselves outside the box, it's possible to find a person that practice the tenets of Rasta and they do not have locks.
That's right.
Okay? In some songs, in Jamaican songs, you will hear they refer to them as the bald-headed Rasta. Okay? So what does it mean? It means that Rastafari or Rastafarianism does not necessitate you to have locks. Okay? It doesn't. And in my opinion, which is what we're basing this whole lecture on, in my opinion, to be a true Rasta, you do not have to have locks. Okay? If you do have locks, you are wearing the mark. You're displaying your affiliation. Okay? And it's an outward
Expression of an inward spiritual or inward anointing.
It's an outward expression.
That's right.
Okay? It's an outward expression.
What are some stereotypes about Rastas, and where did they come from?
In this time frame that we have, which is 20 minutes, we cannot disclaim or disprove the public narrative of what a Rasta is, because everybody thinks that a Rasta is a person that smokes weed, a person that sells weed, or a person that's bad, or a person that goes around. But the reason why the whole concept of bad came into being is because we were the ones that fought the slavery colonizers. We fought them because we said we are not having it.
That's right.
Okay? We are not having it. So the Rastas represent revolution. The Rastas, if you want to know what Rasta is, listen to Bob Marley. Listen to Bob Marley and you're going to feel the spiritual mission. If you listen to Bob Marley, you're going to feel the revolutionary feeling, the revolutionary spirit of the orders. So we're going to leave it there. We're going to add to this bibliography in an academic form. This was just us freestyling and just introducing the topic.
And bringing out the concepts and
bringing
the
out the
ideas,
concept.
the relevant ones. Yeah.
Alright, so we will end it there. Me and my brother with the discussion on Rastafari. Remember what I said? This is one book. This is called the Rastology Keywords. It's written in Amharic and English.
That's right.
And the other book, Kebra Nagas, the chronology of the kings of Ethiopia. By the way, these colors, the flag of Ethiopia is the Rasta colors, and the lion represents the Lion of Judah, which is a lion.
It's a kingly and princely line.
Okay? We have to study our history.
To show thyself approved.
When we study our history, we will know where we come from, where we're going to.
That's right.
What's that?
Kwam Yashala.